Baba says it's very important to cross something and go beyond it. So, whenever there is an obstacle, what do? You cross the obstacle. Yes. So the first thing is, if there is an obstacle, if there is a hurdle, anything that is slowing your speed, anything that has come in the way of you being a deity, what do? Do you cry over it? Do you stop at it? Do you describe it to others? Or do you cross it? Yes, what do? You cross it. And in yesterday's Murli, Baba was saying that in this world there is no king now. It's a rule of the praja over the praja. Yes, so it's government by the people, of the people, for the people, right? So there is no king. So what does Baba mean by that? So in this world, there is nobody who will solve your problem, or who can solve your problem, or who can make you cross an obstacle. You yourself have to do it on Baba's Srimad, with Baba's help, with yoga power. So whenever there is a problem, so maybe even if you talk to somebody who has experienced a similar situation, sometimes you have a problem, and then you talk to somebody who has been in a similar situation, and then you ask them how they dealt with it. All that is all right, but even then, how you will deal with it will be very different from how others dealt with it. Yes, because you are a different person, your value systems are different, your sanskars are different, your thought process is different. So even if you talk to somebody, you have to understand that talking will not give you the solution. Yes, maybe you want to know somebody's experience, that's okay. But even that has to be done in a very detached state. So you have to understand that finally you have to make your own decision and decide what needs to be done. And in that whole process, when you are in yoga with Baba, you're not in yoga with the problem. You are in yoga with the problem solver, and you're in yoga with Baba. And when you are in your knowledgeful and aware state, then you will come up with the solution and cross the problem or the obstacle. Now, do you do this, or do you keep? So whenever there is an obstacle, what do? Do we? And if you keep complaining about it, does it go away? So there is. So I always think about this thing, that if problems just went away because we wished them to go away, then there would be no problems in life. So because everything that comes and presents itself before us, we kind of start wishing them away. I don't want this, I don't like this, but nobody is asking you. Is the universe asking you whether you like it, whether you want it? No. It's there and you have to deal with it. So problems don't go away by wishing them away. If you just said, I don't like it, I don't want it, they are not going away. Or if you just blamed anybody for it, still that's there, Even if you say, it's because of you, but who is dealing with it? You. It's not the person you're blaming. So when you have to deal with it, you have to do something about it. So that's also there. There is this strange sanskar that we have developed in bhakti, where we think that if you just blamed your problem on somebody else, then it becomes their problem. But even if you blame it on somebody else, it's still your problem, isn't it? And if you look at it these days, when even for issues which are very internal, like your process of thought or your state of being, there are some people who will say, the parents are there to blame. Yes, so the parents are responsible for whatever happened to you, or whatever you are at this time. So even if they are responsible, still that's your problem today. So even if whatever happened in the past, but that's your problem today. And if you think that just accusing somebody will get you out of the problem, no. It's your problem, you have to deal with it. And blaming and just wishing it away will not help. In fact, the problem stays as it is, and in fact you are not dealing with it, and that dealing is getting delayed, so the problem persists longer than you want. Then there is another thing that we do, which is we resist the problem. Yes, we say, I hate it, and you're always, I don't like this situation, and you're creating hatred, and you're creating hard feelings and negative feelings for it. And there's a very simple law which says whatever you resist will persist, because that is what you're giving your energy to. So if you're giving your energy and your mental attention to some obstacle, then that is only growing. Yes, so, and then if you think that somebody else will solve your problem, or you can find a solution from somebody else, no, they will not solve your problem. Nobody can solve your problem. There is no Raja here, no Raja, there's no king. You cannot go to anybody's court and they will solve your problem. And even if you go to a court, or you do, maybe in 10 years, 12 years, there will be some settlement, but that's not the time you want to give to solve the problem. Yes, so even if there is a situation where legal action has to be taken, or even when that is happening, your solution doesn't lie in the legal solution. So you have to cross the obstacle, because your energy cannot get stuck in that physical situation until it gets resolved. So you have to disentangle your energy from there, because you are a Sangam Yogi Brahmin soul, and you have to use your body, mind and wealth to create your fortune. And if you allow your time, thought, energy, your everything to get stuck in a situation, and you're waiting for it to get solved in 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, whatever, then that's not a solution, because maybe in that time, your Sangam Yugi time to build your fortune will be lost, and maybe Vinash happens in that time, and you will be left with nothing. So this is why it is very important to cross up an obstacle. And how do you cross an obstacle? By becoming bigger than it. So by becoming bigger than it. So whenever there is a situation, and if you look at that situation from a certain consciousness, then that situation looks very big to you. But if you just elevate your consciousness, you will be able to see it in a different light, and you will be able to figure out a solution which was invisible to you in that time. Yes, so let's say you have to cross a mountain. What's the easiest way? So just fly over it. Yes. So you have to elevate yourself. You have to use yoga power. You have to build your consciousness so that you are able to see what you cannot see in limited consciousness. Yes. So any solution lies in the shift in consciousness. So first thing is you find a solution by banking on your power of purity, your power of yoga, and when you look at it differently, you will be able to muster the courage and everything that you need to cross the situation. Yes. Now let's say you crossed a situation because at that time Baba helped you and you were able to gather the courage and the understanding, and you were able to seat yourself on the seat of awareness, which helped you to cross the situation. But then Baba says, go beyond it now. Now go beyond it. Yes, now what does Baba mean by when you've crossed a situation, go beyond it? So let's say, you had a situation where, so have you seen, people who fight wars? So when there is a war going on, then there is a situation and they are able to deal with that situation through some novel methods. So, they did something to pull down the enemy, or they did something which made them win the war. But what happens after that? They get stuck in that victory. Yes, and for 30 years after that, they'll keep saying the same stories. Same war stories, that this happened and I did this and I did that. So, you crossed it, but you didn't go beyond it. So, similarly, in your lifetime, as long as you can remember, just think about how many situations you crossed. But did you go beyond it? Or are you still carrying that situation in the form of a memory or a trauma or something else? Are you carrying it? Because you see, when there are psychological tests done, then they tell you that you are carrying a lot of trauma from things that you barely remember. So, there was this one experience that Jayanti Didi was once sharing, and she said that, those people who had seen the partition. So, when now the partition, it's been quite some time since the partition happened, and then people have crossed it, right? The partition is over and that whole scene is over. And after 50 years, 60 years, people think that, we have crossed it and it's a thing of the past. But when psychological tests are done, they figure out that that trauma is still there. There is trauma that is being carried from that time. And this trauma is so subconscious that you are not even aware of it in your conscious mind. So have you seen that sometimes you see a dream and you see one of your classmates in that dream, which you think you never noticed that classmate in school, or you think that you never noticed this person in your surrounding, but suddenly that person is a part of your dream. Why? Because subconsciously you kept that person in your awareness, but consciously you don't even know you were, you had that emotion for that person. So it's so subconscious, it's all, it stays there, it stays with you. And Baba says that it's not just important to cross a situation, because the truth is that every situation, when it comes, it has to go. It's not like any situation will stay forever. And sometimes you feel very triumphant that you crossed a situation very well. But then, even when you say, I crossed it very well, sometimes you don't let go of it. And you keep, patting your back for a very long time for having crossed that situation. But in that doing, in that patting your back, you are also carrying a part of that situation within yourself. You are carrying that trauma also, because that trauma is reminding you of your victory. So sometimes you think that, carrying that situation and carrying your victory in that situation is a good idea. But if you don't let go of your victory, you will not let go of the situation also. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes. So let's say, there is a situation where you were participating in something, or you were trying to vie for a position, and there was somebody pulling you down, and then you managed to secure that position, and you did not create any vikarma also. You did it with yoga power, you did it in Baba's remembrance. But then what happens after the situation? You keep saying, they did this, but still, Baba helped me. So you're always saying that Baba helped me. But the thing is, you're also carrying, they did this. You have not let that go. So, you are on the one side, you're saying Baba helped you cross it. But then Baba said that, when you have crossed it, now let go of it. But what you're doing is, you are repeatedly saying that they did this and it was very bad and it was very rude, and this could have happened and that could have happened. But look at my dear Baba, he helped me, he pulled me out of that situation. But in doing so, what are you doing actually? You are carrying that situation with you even today, because you are thinking about that situation all the time, and all that trauma you are reliving, even if you're doing it in a very camouflaged manner. So there are many acts of self-deception that we engage in. This is one of them. So it's not the victory, it's also the trauma that you're reliving. So if you don't let go of the victory, you will not let go of the trauma. And this letting go, you have to let go of everything. What you have to understand is, letting go of everything is important. And closely connected with this thing is the idea of nostalgia. So there are some people who say that I have very good memories and I like to relive them and I like to be nostalgic. But if you don't let go of your past, so if you remember the good memories, you will also remember the bad ones. It cannot be that you have this habit of going into the past and you only remember the good ones. You will remember the good ones and the bad ones. And also, when you remember the good ones, you will always feel that you don't have them now and you will miss them. And the third thing you do is, you're wasting your Sangam Yugi time and thought in reliving the past, when it should be used for creating the future. Yes, so your Sangam Yugi time and thought is available to you to create the future, not relive the past. But you're doing this, all of this, in the name of nostalgia. And this nostalgia is not doing you any good, it is only making you miserable. But we keep doing these things. So Baba today is giving us the knowledge that when you have crossed something, and whether it is not just an obstacle, but even something that was very good, something that was the best experience, but unrelated to Baba. So, an experience which involves nature and people and things, then let go of it. Only experiences of Baba you remember. Why? Because you can relive them. Because Baba is eternal. So you can relive every experience with Baba. And every experience with Baba is not physical, it's a spiritual experience. So spiritual experiences can be relived, they can be recreated. So this is why only hold those experiences that you have with Baba. And other things, everything of the past, you have to let go. And if you don't let go, then what happens is it is occupying a space in your inner world, that space which could be used for other stuff. And it is you need to clean your inner space so that you can draw in the light and might and the touching of Baba. But if you're carrying all these things from the past, then it is creating a big, it's occupying a big space and dirtying it in your inner world. So that's what you have to be very careful about. So Baba says, it's not just important to cross an obstacle, but it's very important to go beyond it as well. And this going beyond, we have to be very careful about. And then Baba says, only then can you be a flying bird. Because in the world, what I have observed is, there is a situation, and that situation comes, it persists for a while, and then it leaves. And then you get normal, right? So you come to normalcy. But that normal is not normal, it is a new normal. So, and sometimes there is a shift in you which you're not very aware of, but that new normal has come. And with this successive new normals, we are going down. So we are only going down and down with these new normals. And earlier you could fly, then you could run. Now you're barely able to walk after a situation. Because, with repeated accidents and blows, every time your functionality is reducing. So, but if all this is happening very spiritually, so you're holding it inside, that's why it's limiting you. So let's say, COVID came and it's gone now. But do you carry a part of what happened during COVID inside you? So, maybe you suffered, or there's some other person in the family who suffered, or maybe somebody died or something. But are you carrying that inside you still? Because if you are not, because it's crossed, but have you gone beyond it? If you have not gone beyond it, then it will limit your speed of flying. So, because that which is there inside you will burden you and will pull you down. It will not allow you to fly, go in your flying stage in future. So Baba says it is very important to cross something and then go beyond it. So one thing is crossing it, second is going beyond it. Don't keep discussing, and everybody keeps doing this. So there is something that we call resting on past laurels. Yes, and have you seen states and countries and whole nations, they rest on past laurels. And they would say, we had this situation and we crossed it. But what are you doing today? You're just resting on past laurels. And there are so many states in India also where, this resting on past laurels is going on. And you're always trying to remember, that in the 60s we did this, and in the 70s we did this, and there was this one great person in her history and you are celebrating them. But what about you? Are you not great enough? Can't you do something great today? But why do we keep just celebrating the past? What are we doing in the present? So this is also something, you cross a situation and then you keep holding that flag of victory, and you think that that is your victory today. But if you just let go of it, you could achieve so much today. But you're thinking about, we did this, and it's not only as a nation we did this, and as a community we did this, but what are you as an individual doing today? Just blowing your own trumpet and going into, I did this and I did that. So Baba says, when you have crossed something, let go of it and come to that place where you're light and easy and you're ready to do something now. You're ready to fly. You are very light and you're capable, because all these stuff that you're carrying from the past is also not allowing you to fly today. So just clean your whole memory track and just be here. I'm a point and I'm the Master Almighty, and Baba is with me, and I'm available in this moment to create the best. And you do your best every second, and every second let go, and then do your best every second. So no trauma, no nostalgia, and no flagging, no being a flag bearer of your past victories. So just be in the moment and be in the flying stage. And Baba says, every time you come to do something, come like a bird comes and sits on the branch. So Baba says, be in a flying stage, and whenever you come to do some karma, you're not heavy, you're very light. You've shed all your burden, and from that lightness, from that place of flying stage, you come and do a karma. And when you do a karma from that flying stage, that karma becomes a Sresht karma. And Baba says, this is one aspect of bondage of karma which you have to pay attention to. Yes, so this bondage of this aspect of bondage of karma, because sometimes whatever you did, whatever was courageous of you to do, or whatever was very knowledgeful of you to do, or very accurate of you to do, that can also become a bondage in future, because at that time you did what was accurate, but today your buddhi is so full of that past thing that you did that you are not able to receive the light or might from Baba, because that has become a cloud and it is clouding your intellect. So you're not able to receive that light and might from Baba, which will allow you to do another accurate and elevated action in the moment. So this also becomes a very big bondage of karma. And then Baba says that then you will be constantly free. If you just had this practice, then you will be constantly free. So this is something which is very, very important in the Murli today, and pay attention to this. And then there is another thing that I would like to talk about. So today Baba says that, I'm giving you knowledge, and with knowledge there is yoga, and with this knowledge and yoga you have an aim, and with that aim, with that Lux soap, that aim is going to make you the ruler of heaven. And I was just today thinking about knowledge, and so the first thing that Baba tells us about in knowledge is about who I am. And Baba gives us Swaman, yes, that You are a worthy, peaceful, loveful, knowledgeful soul. And when there is no Swaman, so do you understand that you perceive as you are? So, how you perceive an act, how you perceive a word, how you perceive a situation has got nothing with the act, has got nothing to do with the act or the word or the situation, and it's got everything to do with you. So, do you understand that if you have no Swaman, so let's say you have always been told since childhood that you're good for nothing, yes, then that becomes your consciousness. And when your consciousness is I'm unworthy, then when you are with people, then whatever they do, whatever they say, however they behave, you feel that they are telling you you are unworthy. You hear that, you see that, and you don't hear what is said, you don't see what is there. You hear and see as you are. So if there's a sense of unworthiness inside you, then you will always hear that everybody is telling you you're unworthy. Or you will see that, everybody is acting in a way to insult you or do things to you which they shouldn't. So where is this coming from? This is coming from a place inside you which tells you you are unworthy. And how do you shift your perception? And then, when you think that other people are insulting you, you are insulting them back, because you will always want to make the other person feel as you are feeling. So if you are feeling insulted, you will try to insult the other person. But that's all this thing, this whole karmic cycle that's taking place. A, feeling insulted, B, insulting someone. It's all coming from a place within you that says you are unworthy. And why have you come to that place? Because you've internalized the messages that you received from others in the world. And it could be very close ones, it could be parents, it could be friends, it could be siblings, but you have internalized that, and now they've become part of your consciousness. But now Baba says, and there are many people in the world, there are psychologists, there are others who will tell you that this is what is happening. But what is the solution? What is the solution? How do you shift that? So this is why Baba says, now stop listening to everybody around you. Just withdraw your attention and your buddhi yoga from everybody around you, from your body, from bodily relations, from the world, and have buddhi yoga with me. And think about, what is Baba telling me? Who am I? So Baba tells me that I am the most worthy soul. Yes, every day Baba is telling me that amongst the millions and trillions of souls that are there, who am I? I am the deity soul, the number one soul. And when you listen to Baba, and then you build faith in yourself and you start acting according to that faith. So when you know that Baba tells you you're worthy and you're capable, and then you build that faith in you and start doing things according to that capability that Baba is showing in you. So Baba says you're peaceful, Baba says you're pure, And when you start believing in that and you start engaging in pure and peaceful actions, then your sense of self starts to shift. And when your sense of self starts to shift, only then will your attitude and perception towards others and situations will shift. But if you listen to Baba and you take the love from Baba but don't change your actions, so how will you build your self-esteem? Self-esteem is built. Self-esteem is lost when you internalize what others told you. And self-esteem is built when you listen to what Baba tells you and act accordingly. So it's not just listening, but also, building your self-esteem and acting accordingly. So when you engage in pure, peaceful, knowledgeful, powerful karma, then your self-esteem will be built, rebuilt. And this is why Baba says that it is very important, this knowledge that I give you about who you are and the yoga. So, what is yoga? When yoga is, a simple definition of yoga is, you have yoga with the one who is yours. Or, wherever there is I and mine, there is yoga. So, if you think that this person is mine, so how do you get traumatized? So, when you say, this is my mother, my father, my sibling, and then they are telling you something which is putting you down, then you internalize it, don't you? Why? Because you have yoga with them. And whenever you say somebody is yours, you have yoga with them. So now Baba gives us the knowledge that I am a soul and mine is one Baba and none other. Mine is one Baba and none other. And when I know I am a soul and mine is just one Baba, then I'm all ears, all heart, all mind for just Baba. And then I only listen to him, I only internalize what he says, and I only do as he says. And that's the way to become, pure and powerful and have elevated consciousness. So Baba says that when I tell you that you are a soul, when I tell you that I am your everything and I am your father, I am your parent, I am your mother, I am your teacher, then accept that. That is knowledge. So what does Baba mean when he says you internalize knowledge? So know that you are a soul and know that you have only one relationship, that is with Baba. So every relationship that you think of in the world is with that one entity, Baba. And when you do that, then you will be able to shift yourself and become like Baba. And Baba says also, I give you the knowledge of the aim, that now you are at the end of this cycle and your only purpose is to be pure and go back home and come to that world of purity. So your purpose is not materialistic, nothing else, but you have a purpose, and that purpose is to be pure. And how will you be pure? When you have yoga with Baba. So the power of knowledge is very important, and the knowledge is, who am I, who do I belong to, what is my aim and what is going on. So just keep revising these 4 things and they will shift your consciousness in a huge way. Okay, Om Shanti.